Are there any podcast user groups in Austin? Nothing on Facebook or Meetup. Wait, what's this? 2015. Why aren't there any active user groups? What's the deal? Maybe I should start one. Yeah, I'll start a podcast user group. Welcome to ApexThis.Podcast, a podcast about podcasting, or rather a chronicle of my journey to start a publishing media podcast side business. This will be a behind the scenes look at what I'm doing to make that happen. I'll share tips and best practices that I learned along the way. These tips and best practices will be something that you can use to start your very own podcast and share your voice with the world. My name is Mark, and this is episode 3, The Meetup. 4 years ago, I started using a set of applications that were extensible with a marketplace for plugins, easy to use, and were customizable. No one at my place of work knew how to use these applications or the best methods to set them up, so Google became my best friend. I would spend hours devouring any information I could. Tips, tricks, best practices, you name it. Some answers to my questions were good, yet others couldn't be answered. We then wondered, is there anyone nearby that I could ask? I went back to Google, like Aladdin to the genie, and I asked for it to find me a user group. They say be careful for what you ask for, as I did not find a user group. Instead, I found a page asking if I wanted to start one. Thus, the Kansas City Atlassian user group was founded with the help of an amazing co-leader by the name of Karen. The years that followed were a journey of meeting wonderful people, building relationships, and learning. With user groups, you meet people that are trying to do the same thing as you. Others looking to get started, and lastly, those that just love the product so much they wanted to just come and soak up the knowledge. Having the user group was the best. Seeing how people use the tools to solve a problem and pick their brain about it was beyond words. The community we created and fostered allowed us to share ideas outside of the user group. It was a continuous cycle of learning. I have since become user group less as I moved to a different state. As I sit and scour the internet for tips, info, and best practices when it comes to podcasts, I find that I do miss the camaraderie of face-to-face engagement with others that are as enthused as I. Yet, my results once again find nothing, and I'm yet again proposed with the same question as I was all those years ago. Would you like to start a user group? Yes. Yes, I would. Thanks for listening to this episode of Apex This. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at ApexThis. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe on iTunes, Google Play Music, or on your favorite podcast app. You can check the show notes at ApexThis.com for a link to the show music and anything else that I may have mentioned in this episode. Until next time.